Now, of course, we've seen the memo from your own Justice Department advising state and local and other prosecutors about all of the different federal causes of action that they can bring against parents that are not about violence.
The point of no return in the last days of violence.
Hi, everybody. My name's James. Welcome to California High Desert Preacher. Well, guys, you know I got to make a video about this because lately I am hyper concentrating on anything that has to do with children, no matter what age they are, be it at the time of conception till 12th grade. And this video is really needed now more than ever. It's more important for me to get this information out there. But quickly, exclaimer, I have to say to most people in America, especially Christians, I've noticed that they call things like this conspiracy theory. And when people want to come together and discuss these issues, they obviously call them conspiracy theorists. But my friends, I have to say to you that unless you do your own homework and you look into this subject matter, you just know enough about a particular subject to actually not know what it is that you're talking about. Not only that, it's only a conspiracy if it's not true. And obviously, the things that we have been talking about for years has finally come to fruition. And so therefore, my friends, it's not conspiratory. Now, let's jump right into the video. What you see here is a video of people talking about what's going on with Biden's AG and how they've declared parents to be domestic terrorists. And now lately, the AG is doubling down on his decision, although he's been exposed for what he really is and his agenda and his motives. But nevertheless, he has written a memorandum and sent it out to his people. There are 13 ways they are now using strategic ways to declare parents that go before a public school board, whether you be up there and you say certain things that normally wouldn't be considered a threat, or if you get on your cell phone and you call somebody to discuss what's taking place inside of that meeting, you will be arrested, you will be charged with a violent crime, and you will be charged as a domestic terrorist with the potential and the intent of threatening the members of the school board with actually out committing any violent acts or without threatening anybody. Well, without further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below as it raises up my chances due to the algorithm for most people to find this video and my channel. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video, shall we?
Senator Holy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Garland, on October 4th, you issued an unprecedented memo that involves the Department of Justice and the FBI and local school districts, local school boards. Nothing like it in our country's history. It was based, you've testified, on this letter from the National School Board Association that we now know the White House was involved in writing. They've retracted the letter. They've apologized for the letter. They say they regret the letter, but you won't retract the memo and said earlier that you have no regrets. And you've defended yourself repeatedly today before this committee by saying, well, you're focused on violence. But now, of course, we've seen the memo from your own Justice Department advising state and local and other prosecutors about all of the different federal causes of action that they can bring against parents that are not about violence, they're about harassment and intimidation. I'm looking here at this memo. It identifies no fewer than 13 possible federal crimes involving harassment and intimidation, including making annoying phone calls. Do you think a parent who makes a phone call to a school board member that she has elected, that school board member deems annoying, should be prosecuted, General Garland?
No, I don't. And the Supreme Court has made quite clear that the word intimidation with respect to the constitutional protection is one that directs a threat to a person with the intent of placing the victim in fear of bodily harm or death. Prosecutors who investigate these cases know the Supreme Courts. This is a very famous leading case.
Prosecutors do, but parents don't, General Garland. Do you think that a parent who looks at the 13 different federal crimes that your Justice Department has identified they might be subject to and prosecuted for, like making annoying phone calls, do you think that they're going to feel that they're welcome to speak up at a school board meeting? How about this one? They could be prosecuted for using the internet, I guess that would be Facebook, in a way that might cause emotional distress to a victim. Is that a crime of violence?
Senator, I haven't seen the memo that you're
Why
talking
haven't
about,
you?
and I don't, even from the description, it doesn't sound like it was addressed to parents. But if you
No, it wasn't addressed to parents. It was addressed to prosecutors. That's the problem. Why haven't you seen the memo?
I don't know why I haven't. I don't look at every. I do not get every memo that every U.S. attorney sends out. But if you're
Wait a minute. Don't. I just want to be sure I understand this. This is a memorandum that collects 13 different federal crimes parents could be charged with. It has United States Department of Justice on the top of it, and you're telling me you haven't seen it?
Who's the memo from, Senator?
The United States Department of Justice, United States Attorney for the District of
I
Montana.
have not seen a memo from the District of Montana.
Not high enough priority for you?
It's not. That's not the question. I don't.
It is the question. Answer my question. Is it not a high enough priority for you when you're threatening parents with 13 different federal crimes? These aren't crimes of violence. You've testified today you're focused on violence. That's not what your U.S. attorneys, they work for you. That's not what they're saying. You haven't seen it because it's not a high enough priority, or what?
Question of priority. No one has sent me that memo, so I haven't seen it.
What do you mean no one has sent you the memo? You run the United States Department of Justice, do you not?
There are 115,000 employees of the Department of Justice.
Indeed, and you are in charge of every one of them. And
And I
this
do
was a
not-
sufficiently important case that you issued a memo. You, over your signature, issued a memo involving the FBI and the Department of Justice in local school boards, local school districts. Your U.S. attorneys are now threatening prosecution with 13 different crimes, but it's not a high enough priority for you. It got lost in the mix.
I'll send again. I've never seen that memo. It wasn't
That's what
sent to me.
concerns me, General Garland.
Well, it wasn't sent to me. I hope you will assure your constituents that what we are concerned about here is violence and threats of violence.
That only leads.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wind this video down. But before I do, I have a few things that I need to say because you know me, I'm Mr. Opinionative. Check this out. This is what happens when America has become hypnotized through hypnosis, through subliminal messaging on television and movies and music. Basically, this is what happens when America leaves its first love and falls asleep due to the entertainment industry. Guys, check this out. This is what a communist, Marxist, fascist government does. They're coming for your children. Now, if this continues to go on much longer, who's to say they're not going to come to your door, kick in your door, and take your children? They're telling you now, America, they own your children and they're going to take possession of them. I don't care what anybody says, as conspiratorial as it may sound, this is the direction this is going down. Not only that, all right, guys, but check this out. Who's to say that they're not going to tell you to your face that you can't come at all to these meetings? I mean, they're already telling you that if you say certain things and you act a certain way and you do certain things that are normally not considered to be crimes of violence or criminal in any way, shape, or form, you're going to be arrested and charged with domestic terrorism. Come on, guys, wake up and smell the coffee. I would encourage you to pull your children out of the public schools. We need to continue to push back on this because guess what? This is going after freedom of speech. And guess what comes next? Your freedom of religion and your Second Amendment. And they're going to come for your guns. I mean, if you haven't figured that out yet, guys, look at all the gun bills that are already on the books. Come on, man. You can't see the writing on the wall. You need to wake up and ask Jesus to pull you out of your hypnotic state and stop being asleep at the wheel. It's your responsibility to be proactive. Yes, just because God's allowing these things to happen doesn't mean as Christians we need to lie down taking this flat on our back. You are the ones who needs to become involved to protect your children. God expects you to protect your children. And if you don't do something to stop this before it gets too much further, God's going to hold you accountable for not standing up and speaking out to protect your children. How do you do that? You fight a tyrannical government that's coming for your children. All that being said, guys, I want to remind you that this channel is a godly Christian channel, and it's about John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that who should ever believe in him would not perish but have everlasting life. Remember, guys, I love you. My wife Kim loves you. Most of all, Jesus died on the cross for you. God bless you. I'm out of here.
3:16 did not come to the